Hello everyone, this is Rajendra and I come up with a very exciting video today. So we are going to talk about what is CPython, and this is really going to change the usage of Python. It will help to increase the usage of Python. Now, why that is the case? Let's first understand what is CPython, and then we'll understand why this is going to change the usage of Python. Okay, there would be a very huge demand for Python. Okay, so let's understand. So what is CPython? So before that, now everyone must be using a Python, okay, or a few of the guys who are learning Python now because there is a huge demand in the market. So what is Python? Basically, Python is just a one high level programming language, and it is very widely used nowadays in the world, right? So you must have seen that it is used in the data science, machine learning, web development, web scraping, and there are thousands of other use cases we have, right? So now what is CPython? So CPython is basically one interpreter. So Python is a interpreted language and CPython is a one of the interpreters. So whatever the version that we have right now in the market, like 3.7, 3.8, 3.10, they are using a standard interpreter that comes with a Python installation. But now this CPython is a next generation interpreter. So what is this next generation interpreter is that, right? So for that, first of all, we need to understand what is interpreter, right? So any high programming language, okay, high level programming language like JavaScript, Python, C, Java, .NET. So this is something our system doesn't understand directly, right? So for that, first of all, we need to convert that our high level programming language into the system understandable language. Okay, so system at the end understand only zeros and ones, right? So we need to first convert this high level programming language code into the system understandable language, right? And for that reason, we need basically compilers and interpreters, right? So basically Python is an interpreter language. So Python uses an interpreter. So let me just quickly talk about in a brief what is interpreter versus what is compiler. So basically interpreter process each statement of your code one by one, right? Whereas compiler compiles your whole program together, right? So obviously due to that, the code analysis time required for interpreter is obviously it will be very less because it has to just analyze one statement at a time. But as compared to the compiler has to analyze the whole program once. So it's a time is more as compared to the interpreter. Now, when you are going to execute the program, obviously the time required by the interpreter, it takes some more time as compared to the compiler, right? Now, if you talk about the memory, okay, how much memory required. So now in an interpreter, we are going to execute line by line. So obviously we need to just load each line once, right? So obviously the memory required for that would be a very less as compared to the compiler. Compiler has to load the complete program. So obviously it requires more memory, right? So programming languages like Python, JavaScript, Ruby, these are interpreted language. We use interpreter to convert the programming language code into the system understandable language. Okay, whereas Java, C, .NET, these are compiled language. Okay, so I hope with this everyone understood the difference between interpreter and compiler. Now we are talking about the CPython. So CPython is a next generation interpreter, right? And that is going to be released in October 2022. Okay, I think around 22nd is something. The beta version of CPython is going to release on 22nd of October 2022. Now, why is everyone is excited about this release? What is the main reason behind it, right? So let's understand here. So basically, nowadays everyone talk about Python is performance of the Python is slower than other programming language. So where the performance matters, we cannot use Python. We have to use the programming languages like C, Java, where performance matter. But with this interpreter, we are going to get almost 25% faster performance, right? So that means if any program was taking around 100 seconds for execution. Now it is going to take only now it's a 25% faster. So earlier it was taking more time. Now it is going to be reduced almost by 25%. And that's the reason everyone is excited about this interpreter. And that would be a very advantage point for any Python developer, because now with if the performance is getting increased, obviously there would be a very high demand for Python. So I'll talk more on this, what is CPython, how we have to use it, how it is, or what is the actual difference that we are getting. But for now, as a beta version, CPython 3.11, we are getting 25% faster than the previous interpreters that we have. So stay tuned. I'll create some videos around CPython once that is released. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this information is useful for everyone. So thanks everyone. That's it for this video.